If you get a new pet fish, you've got a lot of things to think about. It needs a name, it needs food, and it needs a tank. A fish tank? That's better. To figure out how much water a fish tank can hold, just multiply its 3 dimensions. Length times width times height. This is its volume. The volume of a solid is the measure of the stuff inside it. Okay, that's the volume. But this is about the surface area. If you measure the surface of a solid, which is the glass in the case of our fish tank, you'll get the tank's surface area, which would tell us how much glass we are using to see Gary the fish. All 3-dimensional objects have surface areas. Your fish tank is a rectangular prism, and all the faces are rectangles. So, with the top, that's 6 pieces of glass. To calculate the surface area, just add the area of the flat surfaces on the tank. Don't forget the top lid. To keep track of the faces, you can draw a net of the prism. Not that kind of net. Nets are 2-dimensional objects that represent 3-dimensional objects. They can help you see the object's faces and their areas. Cut and unfold the prism until the surface is flat. This is your net. You can unfold your rectangular prism in many different ways. You can make a net like this, or like this, or like this. But you can always fold it back into the same 3-dimensional prism. And the surface area is the same no matter which net you choose. Okay, back to your fish tank. To calculate the surface area, figure out the area of each rectangle and add the areas. It's 20 inches wide, 12 inches high, and 10 inches deep. Let's make a net to figure out the tank's surface area. We have 2 big glass rectangles, which are 20 inches by 10 inches. The 2 side rectangles are 12 inches by 10 inches. And we have 2 more rectangles, the bottom and the lid. They're each 20 inches by 12 inches. 20 times 10 is 200. 12 times 10 is 120. And 20 times 12 is 240. Add up the areas of all the rectangles, and you get 1,120 square inches. That's 1,120 square inches of glass. You can make a net to figure out the surface area of any 3D object. Let's put an Egyptian pyramid in the fish tank. Your fish loves world history. How do we figure out the pyramid's surface area? Make a net. You'll see that this pyramid actually has 5 flat surfaces. 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles, and 1 square. You can assemble the net in a few different ways, but be sure not to forget any sides. Next, just figure out the area for each side. 1/2 base times height for the triangles, and side squared for the square. And add up your values. Remember, to figure out surface area, make a net. Figure out the area of each side and add up the values. Looking good!